Welcome to SATV News. This is Kazi Farhana with your headlines. Air ambulance dealer defers Khalada's departure to London to Sunday. Zubair Rahman arrives in Dhaka, reaches Evacare Hospital. No positive response from India on Hasina's extradition yet, says foreign advisor. No failure in recovering lost weapons, says Home Affairs advisor. 55,000 volunteers will be trained to support disaster response efforts. Now in details. BNP chairperson and former Prime Minister Khaleda Zia's planned transfer to London for advanced treatment has been delayed to Sunday after a Qatar-provided air ambulance failed to reach Dhaka on time. Khaleda Zia will be put on the air ambulance only when their physicians gave full clearance, said Party Secretary General Mirza Fakhrul Islam Alamgir. He made these remarks today while speaking to journalists following Jummah prayers in the capital's Noya Polton area. Mirza Fakhrul also said that the physicians were making all efforts to restore Khaleda Zia's health. Besides, the BNP Secretary General said that the previous Awami League government kept Khaleda Zia imprisoned for 6 years. For 2 of those years, she was held in solitary confinement in an old jail facility. Many believe her illness began there. Due to a lack of proper treatment, her condition deteriorated further. Special prayers were also held across the country today, seeking the speedy recovery of BNP chairperson Khaleda Zia. Meanwhile, Dr. Zubair Rahman, BNP chairperson Begum Khaleda Zia's daughter-in-law, landed in Dhaka this morning. Upon arrival, she proceeded directly to Evacare Hospital to assess her mother-in-law's health. BNP Senior Joint Secretary General Ruhul Kovir's speech said that if there is no major crisis or a disruptive situation, BNP has completed all preparations for the February elections that the government has promised before Ramadan. He made the comment while speaking to journalists after a prayer mahfil for Begum Khaleda Zia at his locality's Shodapara Jame Mosque in Kurigram this afternoon. Regarding Tariq Rahman's return to the country, he said that Tariq Rahman is a leader of the masses and will return to the country at an appropriate time considering his mother's illness. Party leaders and activists, including District BNP Joint Convener Hasibur Rahman Hasib and Shafiqul Islam Bebu, were present at the time. Foreign Affairs Advisor MD Tauhid Hussain today said the government of India has not yet given any positive response on Bangladesh's request to extradite ousted Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina. The government wants Sheikh Hasina to be sent back. She is convicted and the highest judicial institution has sentenced her, he added. He made these remarks while speaking to journalists at Rangpur Circuit House this morning. He said that such matters take time. In these cases, changes don't happen overnight. The reaction from India is being monitored. India is now examining the issue, he added. Responding to a question about BNP acting chairman Tariq Rahman's return to Bangladesh, the advisor said he had no information about this. Commenting on the detention of the Bangladeshi fishermen by the Arakan army, Tauhid Hussain said the group is not a state actor, making bilateral talks difficult. Home Affairs Advisor Lieutenant General Retired Jahangir Alam Chaudhuri has said that operations to recover heavy weapons before the national election are ongoing and the government has no failure in this regard. He made a remark today while attending a volunteer recognition program at the Fire Service Training Ground in Purvachal. Regarding the Police Commission Ordinance, the advisor said the law has been enacted to ensure service for the police. If any law enforcement agency has objections, they may raise them. When asked about the investigation report on the Bidar mutiny, he avoided comment. He also said that 55,000 volunteers will be trained to support disaster response efforts. They will stand beside the fire service whenever required. He added that the government is considering providing additional benefits to the volunteers. During the event, 22 members of the fire service were honored for special contributions to their duties. Chief Advisor's Press Secretary Shafiqul Alam today said that bringing back the killers of the July autocrates is the government's core mission and solemn pledge. The press secretary made the remark while inaugurating an inter-college football tournament at Magura Government High School ground this morning. The fascist government killed numerous students and people during 2024 July uprising, he said, adding the International Crimes Tribunal has proven the genocide was committed by the fascist regime. The International Crimes Tribunal has handed down death sentence to Sheikh Hasina and Asaduzzaman Khan Kamal. The interim government wanted them to be extradited to the country. Shafiqul Alam said, adding they have the right to appeal, noting that the country's people are united. He said those who killed or crippled their children must be brought back and tried. Prices of bottled soybean oils has surged up by Taka 9 per litre without any government approval. A 5-litre bottle is now Taka 43 more expensive, while a 2-litre bottle has gone up to by Taka 18. Onion prices have also climbed due to low supplies ahead of the new season, with costs rising Taka 20 to 30 per kilogram over the past few days. Old stock onions are currently selling at Taka 120 to 140 per kg, reflecting a jump of Taka 20 to 30 in just a few days. The first batches of new season onions sold with green leaves have started arriving in limited quantities at Taka 70 to 80 per kg. In contrast, winter vegetable prices continue to their downward trend as supplies improve. Long eggplants have dropped from Taka 80 to 100 to Taka 70 to 80 per kg, and round eggplants are now Taka 80 to 90, down from Taka 120. Egg and chickens prices have remained stable. Farm eggs sell for Taka 115 to 120 per dozen, with a slight price rise observed on Thursday. Broiler chicken is trading at Taka 150 to 170 per kg. Four people, including a mother, her young son and the child's grandmother, were killed in a road accident on the Faridpur-Borishal highway at Bhanga Upazila in Faridpur district. The accident took place around 11:45 a.m. today, confirmed the officer in charge of Bhanga Highway Police Station. The victims were identified as Rimu Begum, her 3-year-old son Raihan, and his grandmother Nurunahar Begum. Another elderly man also died in the crash, whose identity is yet to be found, said the OC. Upon receiving information, local police, highway police and fire service personnel conducted a rescue operation at the scene. 4 injured passengers were taken to Bhanga Health Complex and Faridpur Medical College Hospital for treatment. Police have seized the bus involved belonging to Modinapuri Bahon. Viewers, we're taking a short break. Stay with us.
সারা দেশে লাখো মানুষের কঠোর কর্মতৎপরতা ও নিষ্ঠায় এসএ পরিবহন পার্সেল অ্যান্ড কুরিয়ার সার্ভিস এখন 16 কোটি মানুষের হাতের নাগালে। দীর্ঘ 30 বছর ধরে বিশ্বস্ততা ও দ্রুততার সাথে সেবা দেওয়ায় গ্রাহক সেবায় এখন শীর্ষে। বাংলাদেশে গ্রাহক সেবার সাফল্যের পর এসএ পরিবহন পার্সেল অ্যান্ড কুরিয়ার সার্ভিস এখন বিশ্ব বাণিজ্য কেন্দ্র সিঙ্গাপুরে। আপনার যে কোনো পণ্য সিঙ্গাপুর থেকে বাংলাদেশে বুকিং এর জন্য যোগাযোগ করুন। এসএ পরিবহন প্রাইভেট লিমিটেড, লজিস্টিক্স পার্সেল অ্যান্ড কুরিয়ার সার্ভিস, 22 Roberts Lane, Singapore 218302. Phone 0065 629 24900. বাংলাদেশ থেকে সিঙ্গাপুরে পণ্য বুকিং এর জন্য যোগাযোগ করুন ঢাকা সহ দেশের যে কোনো 80টি শাখা কেন্দ্রে। এসএ পরিবহন পার্সেল অ্যান্ড কুরিয়ার সার্ভিস, আপনার সেবা সব সময়।
Welcome, Grand Palace Hotel, Dhaka. A majestic lobby blending timeless elegance with modern design. Experience 5-star comfort in suites and rooms. Sophisticated fine dining restaurant. Crystal clear swimming pool for ultimate relaxation. modern gym and serene spa for well-being. Perfect venue for corporate events, weddings and parties. Seamless and secured. Elegant and eye-catching design. Indulge, relax, discover the first 5-star chain hotels in Bangladesh. Grand Palace Hotel Dhaka, 22 Kakrail, Dhaka, Bangladesh.
Welcome back. You're watching SATV News. News from abroad. Pakistan's Army Chief Field Marshal Saad Asim Munir has been appointed the country's first Chief of Defence Forces, giving him formal command over all 3 branches of the military, the President's office said on Thursday. The appointment was approved by President Asif Ali Zardari on the advice of the Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif and follows the creation of the new post through a constitutional amendment earlier this week. Munir will serve a 5-year term in the role while continuing as the Chief of Army Staff. President Asif Ali Zardari approved the appointment of Field Marshal Saad Amin Munir as a COAs currently and CDFs for 5 years, the presidency said in a statement. Russian President Vladimir Putin said Russia stands ready to provide uninterrupted shipments. Putin made the comment during a joint media briefing with Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi today. While on this visit to India, Putin and Modi also hailed cooperation agreements signed before the briefing, with the Indian leader pointing to new consulates opening up in Russia. Earlier in the day, Putin also visited the Mahatma Gandhi Memorial, where he laid a wreath and scattered flowers as a mark of respect. The visit comes at a time when New Delhi is engaged in talks with the US for a trade deal to cut punitive tariffs imposed by President Donald Trump on its goods over India's Russian oil purchases. The Israeli military has carried out a new round of airstrikes in southern Lebanon, less than a day after Israel and Lebanon held their first direct talks in decades. Residents of the towns of Mazadel, Brachit, Zaba and Mahrona were told to evacuate areas around locations that the Israeli military alleged were weapons warehouses belonging to the Iranian-backed group. An Israeli military spokesman said the sites constitute a ceasefire violation and warned that it would continue to operate to remove any threat to Israel. Israel has carried out near-daily strikes in Lebanon since the ceasefire took effect in November 2024, following 13 months of conflict. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said on Wednesday that European Union leaders were preparing a new sanctions package against Russia and that it must focus on tightening pressure on Moscow's energy sector. Speaking after meeting Cypriot President Nikos Christodoulidis in Kyiv, Zelensky said the measures should target everything that fuels Russia's budget and enables it to continue the war. He said Ukraine is also counting on Cyprus' support for common European decisions regarding Russian assets. Cyprus will hold the rotating presidency of the Council of the European Union from January 1, 2026 till June 30, 2026. German Chancellor Friedrich Merz on Thursday rejected U.S. plans to play out Russia's frozen assets in the EU to the U.S. This money must go to Ukraine, said Merz in Berlin, calling the money a European matter. Merz also said he saw no way of economically transferring the money we mobilized to the United States of America in any form. And the American government knows that. Merz is expected to meet with the Belgian Prime Minister, but they wavered to convince him to abandon his opposition to using the frozen Russian assets. A decision on the assets among the 27 EU leaders is expected to be made at an EU summit in Brussels taking place on December 18 and 19. Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro used an appearance on his radio show Con Maduro de Repente on Thursday to reaffirm Venezuela's sovereignty and highlight China's political support amid heightened regional tension. Speaking during a segment in which he chatted with host, Maduro shifted to a forceful message on national defense. If we have to resort to an armed struggle, it will be to fight for peace, for sovereignty, for our homeland, he said, adding that he hoped the country would continue as we are going. Maduro also emphasized China's diplomatic backing, claiming Beijing publicly supports Venezuela's right to exercise its sovereignty and to peace as he tapped out notes on a telephone. Meanwhile, the U.S. military said it killed 4 men in a strike on suspected drug vessel in international waters in the Eastern Pacific on Thursday. Intelligence confirmed that the vessel was carrying illicit narcotics and transiting along a known narco-trafficking route in the Eastern Pacific, the U.S. military said in a statement on X. U.S. Southern Command released a video it said captured the U.S. military strike on a small vessel in the Eastern Pacific. Taiwan Premier Chiu Jung-tai said on Friday he was very moved by Japan's Prime Minister Sanai Takaichi's recent remarks on Taiwan security. Meeting with Shuzo Sumi, the chair of the Japan-Taiwan Exchange Association, Chiu said the government was grateful to Takaichi. China and Japan are in their worst diplomatic crisis in years. After Takaichi said last month in Parliament a hypothetical Chinese attack on democratically governed Taiwan could trigger a military response from Tokyo. Chiu said that in response to Chinese pressure, many Taiwanese have been changing their travel plans and choosing to visit Japan. During his speech, Chiu also welcomed Japanese performance groups and pop idols to come perform in Taiwan, referring to Japanese artists who have been stopped from performing in China. U.S. President Donald Trump gathered the leaders of the Democratic Republic of Congo and Rwanda to sign a peace deal in Washington on Thursday, even as fighting continued in their scared region. Rwandan President Paul Kagame and the Democratic Republic of the Congo President Felix Tshisekedi affirmed their commitment to an economic integration compact already agreed to last month, as well as a U.S.-brokered peace deal reached in June that has yet to be implemented. Their countries are also signing agreements on critical minerals, security and economic partnerships, according to a White House official. Dozens of supporters of Honduran presidential hopeful Salvador Narsola gathered on Thursday outside the National Electoral Council to defend their elected candidate as the vote count dragged on. Supporters waved flags of the 3-time presidential hopeful's Liberal Party and expressed their support for Nasrallah's victory in the November 30 election. During an interview with Reuters on Thursday, Nasrallah said last-minute interference from U.S. President Donald Trump in the country's closely fought election had damaged his chances of winning. Tunisian police on Thursday arrested top opposition figure Nassib Chebbi to enforce a 12-year jail term on conviction for conspiracy. Last week, Naples court handed jail terms of up to 45 years to dozens of opposition leaders, including Chebbi, business figures and lawyers on charges of conspiracy to overthrow Sadat, underlining his increasingly authoritarian rules, critics said. Police have also arrested Shaima Issa to enforce a 20-year prison sentence, as well as opposition lawyer Ayachi Hamami, who received a 5-year term in the same case. Both have announced an open-ended hunger strike demanding their release. Before ending, we go to the headlines again. Air ambulance delay differs Khaleda Zia's departure to London to Sunday. Zubaida Rahman arrives in Dhaka, reaches Care Hospital. No positive response from India on Hasina's extradition yet, says foreign advisor. No failure in recovering lost weapons, says Home Affairs advisor. 55,000 volunteers will be trained to support disaster response efforts. For updated with our top stories so far here on SATV and to know the latest news, visit www.satv.tv. Stay with SATV.